we're sitting on is Washington State DNR land, and we have, treaty reserve rights to be here. We have rights to be here, to have ceremonies, to camp, to gather, and so I'm thankful for this time, this day, and each one of you that you could be here with us and share the moment. And we were here a month ago. We had a smaller gathering with our community, and we got to sing some songs and prayers and dances with our children and our elders. It was really a beautiful time. And then at that time, there was a rainbow that just came right here to us in the valley, and even there was a bald eagle, that day. So I really feel like it was a blessing for us that day. And so, and how this access came to be was through the documentary film that some of you may have seen that we made. And this film was made because of this proposed project, the Goldendale Pumped Storage. And the concern that we have for this land and the sacred site. And that's why and where the documentary film came to be. And the energy company watched the film in Seattle a few months ago, not very long ago. In the film, they seen this site and they're like, hey, that's Elaine, and she's in the background is our wind project. And that's where we came, and the company reached out to us and said, we want to give you guys access. This is your guys' sacred area. And so sometimes I feel like the stars can be aligned for us in some way or another. And I feel like our elders, our ancestors are watching over us, and they help us to make it this way, And our film that we worked on, it's a non-budget film. We didn't get support from anybody, and our film developers did it out of compassion and for us. And it came from an interview that I was doing on NPR. I was talking on NPR many years ago. I don't remember what year. That's when I heard about this project. And that's when the film developers reached out. And it took me a year to say yes, because, we come from a conservative community where we don't share a lot. We don't share a lot out to the general public. We try to protect our foods. We try to protect our way, our beliefs, our traditions. And now they're all under threat. I can tell you today, every one of our traditional foods are under threat. Our salmon, our suckers, our sturgeon, our lamprey, our deer and elk, and all the different roots that we gather, and our berries. Every one of them are under threat. And, it's hard to see our root grounds getting plowed over and thousands of solar panels put on. It's hard. I know we're in a time when we need renewable energy, but why on our root ground? Why on critical deer winter habitat or critical migratory corridors for hawks, for sage grouse, and the deers, And I feel like it's coming too fast, just like the dams came. And, and our people were pushed aside. And we're still dealing with the hydro systems and the impacts. And our people that were pushed out from their villages. My grandmother was from Maryhill, Little Righteous. She was pushed out and she was left homeless, and that's a true story. And my grandfathers built a cabin for her at Wood River where they fished. And today that cabin's still there. But our family's not allowed to be there either, It's like one push out after the next. And then our people from Rock Creek, we were moved because of the John Day Dam. And they told my kuka, you're gonna be flooded out. And our people were moved. a lot of us live in Goldendale. That's why we live in Goldendale. But I'm just thankful today for this day and opportunity, and we continue to pray for the site, and we continue to pray for our foods. Continue to pray and protect our Ichiwana, the river, and all that it supports. It's not just our community. There's many communities up and down the river, that rely upon the Ichiwana. And now today we're feeling the pressures of data centers and the push that they have and the need that they have for water and the need that they require for energy. And it's like putting more pressure on us to build more solar, build more green energy. And I say, for who? We're going green now for data centers. We're not going green for Washington and Oregon state mandates. We're going green for data centers now. That's what I really believe. And, it's putting pressure on our sacred areas, our food gathering. And, I just keep praying and I hope, this time you guys will hear us. We've been really working these past few years to get awareness, awareness of the impacts that's happening with this going green. Let's go green, I believe we can go green, but in a responsible manner and not destroying shrubs that we need to do more planning, and having the tribes involved at the earliest stages is really essential for protections. And as tribes, we're not just thinking about ourselves, we're thinking about the future, and it's not just for ourselves, it's for everybody. And we're advocating for clean water in the Columbia River. It's for everybody, it's not just for us. It's for all aquatic species, it's all for all the communities, we're advocating for clean air. We're advocating for the wildlife to have habitat, for fish to have habitat. We're advocating for cold water into Columbia for our salmon to migrate. And I just want you to think about this at the height of September when we had the highest fall Chinook. They were stuck behind Bonneville Dam because the Dalles was at 73 degrees Fahrenheit. And then in September also, this is the first week, and John Day Dam is 78 degrees Fahrenheit, the water. That's warm. And our fish are suffering, and they were stuck behind Bonneville Dam for a long time till we got a rain. And this is just an example. We're just 2026, the data centers are putting pressure on our river systems. And thinking about in the future, the fish have a threshold. And every salmon still had different species. They have a threshold that threshold temperature threshold is all they can stand. And don't ever forget about the 2015 big sockeye kill in the Columbia River. We lost thousands of sockeye salmon as well as sturgeon. And then 2021 we had the heat dome, and our sockeye were getting stuck at Drano Lake. So where I work at Columbia River Intertribal Fish Commission, really focusing on cold water refuges, because that's where our salmon, we're trying to provide these areas where our fish can cool down so they can migrate back up the river. So there's good things that we're doing as tribes, as our Intertribal Fish Commission, and I just want to thank our tribal leaders and our elders who are here today, and our children, and each one of you who traveled a ways. I'm grateful for my brother Willie Ray and Lee coming from Klamath, Oregon, Klamath Falls, and I know many of you traveled, and grateful for you to be here, and I hope you think about this. Remember this site, Pushpum, and on a good day, on a clear day, you can see all the way down the Sisters Mountains. And on a good day, you can see Mount Rainier and Mount St. Helens over here. This is a really high point, and it's significant to our people, and there's stories that we can't share, we don't want to share, we just try to protect. And those stories are only shared within our homes and our longhouse of why this place is so important to us in our future generations. And just want to thank each one of you again, Kwekwanuk,